You're listening to Alternative Future Radio, home of the weird, resting place of the paranormal. We'll take you to the furthest reaches of the galaxy and beyond. Strange phenomena, aliens, psychics, cryptozoology, conspiracy, holistic health, and UFOs. Alternative Future Radio, where spooky just got weird.
Oh, no. What the hell?
From the alternative to the mainstream, from the ridiculous to the sublime, ladies and gentlemen, we bring you the audio delight that is the After Hours Show with Basil and Mark.
You're listening to the smooth sounds of After Hours. This is not an intro. This is actually me. Hello. Welcome to the show.
Good evening.
I was feeling a bit funny today.
Who was that at the beginning of the show? Was that
was my
Cleveland?
Terrible impression of Cleveland Brown.
Not bad.
I have bad foot odor.
It didn't take off, did it?
Not really, no. Fell flat on its face, in fact, I think.
I like Family Guy.
Yeah, although that seems to be losing its edge a little bit.
I thought it was okay.
I watched the new one the other day. It was alright.
That's okay.
Better than most of the other trash that's on, but wasn't as good as they used to be.
It's better than nearly everything that's on, but Cleveland, no, that died.
Yeah, wasn't great. Although I quite like Tim the Bear.
Did they make another one, American Dad or something like that?
American Dad, that's very good, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's much better than Cleveland.
I'll look into that.
I'm trying to remember the voice for Tim. He has sort of a semi-Canadian Russian voice type thing. It's a bit strange.
Canadian accent's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very funny. They talk about a boot. They have the boot thing going on, depending on what part of Canada they're from.
Anything else good on TV?
Not really. Not much, to be honest.
Can't think of anything I've seen.
I'm going to start today with something that I've been brewing all week. No, not that. God. The Wicker Man.
Yeah.
I had a call about the Wicker Man.
You're joking?
No.
What was that?
I had a call from a fellow, Nigel, in the west of Ireland.
Oh, yeah?
Phoned me to tell me all about the Wicker Man. Stuff that I didn't know.
Well, why?
Do you know interesting facts about the Wicker Man?
Well, not apart from anything I've seen on the film with Edward Woodward.
All sorts of weird stuff about the Wicker Man film.
Oh boy,
this is the stuff you should have known about. This is your era.
That's my stuff, isn't it?
Got a bit of a coup going on here, I think.
I thought the film was weird enough without coming up with anything else about it.
All right, before I even start with the weird trivia, right?
Yeah.
They filmed the film, and the person who wrote the thing, it was based on a book. I can't remember the name. It's only a ritual. And the director started filming this film under I think it was Lion Films it was called.
Yeah.
And about halfway through, Lion Films got bought out, I think by EMI or somebody like that, one of the big boys anyway. Okay. They came in, they described the film as, I think the exact word they used was rubbish. Uh-huh. And basically didn't give them any publicity when they brought the film to the cinemas at all. They gave them a very limited release. In America, it just fell flat on its face because it got no advertising money.
Yeah.
Basically, they didn't like the film. They didn't want it to be made at all. I think it was EMI. I'm pretty sure it was. However, the original film was actually quite long.
Yeah.
The one that you have seen is 89 minutes, I think, or 88 minutes, or 85 maybe, something like that. And the one that I've given you a copy of today to have a look at is 99 minutes long, and it contains footage from before they set off, before Edward Woodward sets off to go to Somers Isle.
Yeah.
He's on the mainland, and the scenes there, which are on that film.
I've never seen that.
No, they're not on the one that went to the cinema.
Wow.
And there are other scenes with Christopher Lee in them. For example, there's a scene where he takes a young boy to have sex with that dancing woman.
Yeah, sure.
Britt Eklund.
Eklund, yes.
Yeah. And there's sort of cutaway scenes where there's slugs mating and stuff like the snails. I think they were. And there's a bit more exposition to the story. Yeah. Anywho, they really didn't like it. And what happened, this is where it gets weird. They said to so they made this 85, 89 minute one, and then some years later they said, "Oh, well, actually, we'd like to, release the full version, and it's got a bit of a cult following." A few years later, some years later,
let's release it on DVD. Blah blah
blah. Yeah. went to Shepperton Studios where the film reels were. What film reels? Throw them away.
Okay.
They've thrown the negatives away, which if you're a film storage unit, that is like the cardinal sin. They throw positives away, develop ones, but never the original negatives.
Oh, okay.
Right? The original reels, actually, no, I'm telling this story wrong. The original reels were in the hands of I think it was the writer or whoever the hell it was, producer. Basically, let me see if I can find the exact files here. He actually took the reels and he didn't want anybody to see them, and they were in fact buried in the M3 motorway.
Okay.
They were taken. No, that was it. Yeah, Shepperton Studios threw them away, and they got stuck into landfill, which got filled in as part of filling in for the M3 motorway.
Right.
Now I've got it right. So in the end, they shopped around all over the place to try and find any footage, and they managed to find an early edit before the big production company got to it and cut it down to 80 odd minutes. And they managed to get some extra footage to bring it up to 99 minutes. But there's still a lot that wasn't seen.
That's so interesting.
And you can imagine the kind of stuff that got cut out. It was a lot more graphic, a lot more sinister.
Was it graphic or sinister, or was it saying something that they didn't want to be said?
When I say graphic, I don't mean blood and gore. I just mean wrong kind of stuff.
I hope people have seen The Wicker Man, the original one. We're not talking about the one with Nicolas Cage. We're talking about the one with
the good one.
The good one with Christopher Lee and Edward Woodward. And it's just a little island.
Yeah.
And anybody who's important on it is a Satanist.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It was denied a full British cinema release by Michael Dealey, who was the famous the film studio boss there, who declared the film to be rubbish.
Yeah.
The shortened film ended up being given only a small regional release as an opening to a B movie called Don't Look Now.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah.
A bad film.
Here's some weird trivia about it. Michael Dealey, right? Christopher Lee went to see it, and he had his wife with him. And if you watch an interview with Christopher Lee, he always makes a point of mentioning the fact that this Michael Dealey didn't stand up when Christopher Lee's wife walked into the room. And he still mentions it to this day. He's still angry at him
because it was rude.
Yeah. Christopher Lee is a giant, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, so this is good. I'll read you exactly what it says. The master of the full film was buried in landfill under the M3 motorway. The film was rescued in late 70s for release as a low-key art film in America, but it was restored from a print found by Roger Corman, who had been sent a copy of the film before it had been butchered, so that's all they had. It's sort of 15 minutes worth of extra film.
Was Roger Corman the director of some other famous films like Rambo or Superman or something?
I don't know him, to be fair. Okay. I don't know him.
Yeah, the name's familiar.
Yeah. Let me see. Now, here's an interesting thing. Christopher Lee did it for free.
Why?
Didn't get paid for that film.
Why?
He thought it was the best script he'd ever seen.
He was right.
And he insisted that the film must be made. And both he worked for nothing. Edward Woodward worked for less than his usual fee.
Yes.
Britt Ekland, less than usual fee. It was made for a shoestring, even at the time. And Christopher Lee, being, of course, at the height of his career, Hammer House of Horror and all that lot, he could have just bankrupted the whole film production company if he'd charged him his full fee, and he did it for nothing.
He thought there was something in it that was important enough.
Yep. Christopher Lee believes there is a more sinister conspiracy surrounding the whereabouts of the film masters. He refuses to divulge who he believes has hidden it.
Okay.
Because he doesn't think that it is under the M3. He thinks they're lying.
I'm going to help you out with that later on.
Yeah? Okay. Now, here is... so there's all sorts of funny things here. I'll tell you something about Britt Ekland. You'll never watch the film again in the same vein if I tell you this. Let me go on. Go on, Basil, get it out.
I think I know what it is.
Go on.
Will I say it?
Go on, do it.
The Britt Ekland's nude parts are not Britt Ekland at all. They're another actress.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
They are. There's two more actresses, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Believe it or not, the bum scene where she's against the door dancing.
Don't tell me it's a man.
That's not her.
It's not her, no.
There is actually a man listed.
My favourite scene.
Yeah. Now, she was actually in a period that week.
All right.
And there's blood all over the floor in that hotel room that they filmed it in to this day.
Oh, you're joking.
Nope.
Oh, wow.
they couldn't have anything hanging from her or anything, so she had to do it au natural.
Oh, wow.
And you can imagine it was a right mess.
Good grief.
That's ruined that scene for you.
On purpose?
I don't know. No.
It's sometimes it's a witchy ritual type of thing.
Don't know. Another interesting thing is that the film itself was set in the midsummer solstice.
Yeah.
It was actually filmed in October.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so cold. I mean, they had to bring in fake blossoms and put, fake trees on with leaves and all that. They had to put ice cubes in the mouth of the actors so that their breath wouldn't be seen in front of them when they were talking.
God.
That's how cold it was.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else have I got here? There's more here. At one point during the production, Robin Hardy, the director, was found unconsciously drunk in a women's toilet on the Isle of Whitthorne pub.
Nothing unusual there.
Yeah. Now, here's an interesting one. Lord Stairs owned an estate where much of the film was shot. His wife was a dead ringer for and relative of the Queen.
Ah.
When she emerged walking her corgis, the fire leap scene girls were so embarrassed at seeing them semi-naked because they thought she was the Queen, they ran screaming into nearby bushes.
Who can blame them? 4 years.
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah.
Coming across Her Majesty.
Britt Eklund, as well, described Dumfries and Galloway, where most of it was filmed, as the most dismal place in creation.
Well, you could hardly disagree with that, could you?
It looked pretty rum, to be honest. Yeah. Let me see now. Let's see, there's all sorts of stuff here. Also, the Wicker Man Festival is real.
Oh, yes.
And continues to this day.
Oh, yes. There's also a Burning Man festival in America where they burn an effigy of a straw man.
Yeah, oh really? Is that Salem type thing? Is it one of those things?
It isn't really, no. It's a bit more casual. It's not as paganistic or anything. It's just something that's done. But the real Wicker Man ritual, yes, I was aware that it is done.
I've got another bit for you. You'll like this. When Edward Woodward was inside the Wicker Man, the goat above him was peeing on him.
Yeah, well,
he got peed on.
Goats do that.
Yeah. The seaplane that he used, G-AXZN, seen in the film, was destroyed by a fire in Scotland shortly after filming.
Uh-huh.
So there you go.
Happens.
Let me see, what else have we got here? According to Robin Hardy, Howie's final speech is based upon Walter Raleigh's dying words. Apparently he improvised a bit of that speech at the end when he was burning in the Wicker Man as well.
Yeah.
Let me see, what else have we got here? This I like. This is a favourite thing. Okay. According to Robin Hardy, when The Wicker Man played in Kentucky, state officials were so impressed by the film's pro-resurrection message, I'm not sure where the hell they get that from, that he and Christopher Lee were made Kentucky Colonels, which is the same title afforded to Colonel Sanders of Kentucky Fried Chicken fame.
Ah.
It's an honorary title. So Christopher Lee and Robin... Jeez, I've forgotten his surname. I'm sat in front of it now. Hardy are Kentucky Colonels.
Like Colonel Sanders.
Like Colonel Sanders.
But different.
But slightly less spicy.
Is that the end of it?
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm just a little bit,
loads of it on there.
I'm a bit curious about EMI or whoever, or the company saying
I think it was Thorn EMI as it was at the time.
That it was rubbish when they were producing films like...
Take Your Pick.
Take Your Pick. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
That they had a problem saying it was... I mean, they would literally release anything in those days.
Yeah, they were turning films out in a fortnight, weren't they?
It was back in those days when it was better to have a lot of product going out and hoping some of it would stick.
Yeah, definitely.
Rather than furrowing your brow and worrying about demographics and so forth as they do now. And who can you market it to and blah, blah, blah. That was quite different. So, and horror was big.
Massive.
70s to the 80s.
I think it was British Lion Films, it was called, the original company, who I think, if I remember correctly, were the ones who made all of the Hammer House of Horror films. Because it had most of the people involved in The Wicker Man were all Hammer House people.
They were.
Christopher Lee was in it.
Yeah.
Peter Cushing was supposed to play Howie, the policeman.
Yeah.
But turned it down, I think. Or no, he was busy.
He was probably just busy. I feel he would have done it if he had had the time.
Yeah. They put a jacket on Edward Woodward that was too small on purpose so that he'd look flustered and constricted all the time.
It worked.
It did, yeah. He looked constantly aggravated.
You still haven't seen him in Callan?
I still haven't seen Callan.
A fantastic program.
Yeah, apparently.
And what else was there about the Wicker Man? There was nothing else.
Well, yeah, they're still doing it in some place in the southwest of England, I think it is, exactly as per described in there. They've got the man with the horse going around nodding at all the females, Mr. Punch, man dressed as woman, the whole shebang. There's footage of it on YouTube, actually. You can see people standing there. Of course, a lot of the people in the background are all swigging beer and going, oh, look at that man there dressed as Mr. Punch, and having a real good laugh at the whole thing. But it is actually still going on.
It's a thing I've never understood about rural Britain and these peculiar things they do.
Yeah.
Like the maypole and all that kind of thing.
Maypole, pagan.
I was offended when I found out what the maypole represented.
A big phallus.
Yes.
And you've got children dancing around it,
wrapping
it up like a present.
You've got children dancing around it, delighted, and it's actually representing a huge...
Yeah. Wang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Mr. Punch from Punch and Judy, favourite of children at seasides all over the UK.
Yeah.
Straight out of the Wicker Man. Mr. Punch, the jester, the fool for a day.
He's obscene. He's a wife beater.
Yeah, wife beater. Yeah, cruel to animals as well. Crocodiles, particularly.
Christopher Lee was trying to get across why it was so important to him to make the Wicker Man.
I don't know. He did it for free, though.
Christopher Lee, step cousin of Ian Fleming, author of James Bond.
James Bond.
In case you didn't know,
I did.
At one point in the Guinness Book of Records, most acting film roles ever.
Yeah, I believe that, yeah.
Has acted in over 260 films so far.
Cool, blimey.
The list is still growing. I also thought he was in the Guinness Book of Records for being the tallest leading actor.
Probably. He's pretty big.
He's got quite a history, Christopher Lee.
Yeah, we talked about him last week, didn't we, on the... Was it Normandy or something?
I didn't get round to it, sir.
Go on, do it.
I was doing other people.
Go on.
You completely... throw me off now.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
That's good. To me, it looks stupid.
That's good. It's easy to do. Yeah, we were talking about actors and comedians and things who actually saw actual service.
Yeah.
And it was amazing how many were in the D-Day landings.
Benny Hill was the oddest one, I thought.
Christopher Lee might well have been, because he was everywhere else during World War II. He was a member of Churchill's secret army.
Ah.
The Special Operations Executive, SOE.
Yep.
To conduct espionage, sabotage, and reconnaissance in occupied Europe.
Wow. Hardcore, that.
That's hard stuff. He was also a member of the Long-Range Desert Group.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty neat, aren't they?
Blimey.
The forerunners to the SAS, were they? Or?
It sounds similar, yeah.
I mean, he was in Italy. He was
a bunch of hard nuts, anyway.
This guy...
Don't mess with him.
He saw incredible action.
That film director was probably taking his life in his hands when he didn't stand up for his wife. He could have thrown him across the room.
Oh, absolutely. I suppose a lot of people would assume that the Special Operations Executive turned into MI5 or MI6.
It kind of did turn into MI6, I think.
Well, it was officially dissolved on the 15th January 1946.
Yeah,
and
the day before MI6 was formed, probably.
No, MI6 was in existence as well, so 280 personnel from that were merged into MI6.
Ah.
And an interesting fact about the BBC in occupied wartime, anywhere that was occupied by the Axis.
Okay.
But they used to broadcast little messages.
Yeah.
In poetry and in maybe even lines of gobbledygook. It would be to say that to give a message to say that there was a. What would you say? Help me.
I have no idea. I know nothing about this. It's your story.
Okay, well, the BBC were broadcasting behind enemy lines during World War II.
I'm with you so far. Okay. I got that bit,
You've got that. So
what did they say?
They'd be saying that there was equipment dropped or there was a meeting going on.
For the resistance.
Or a message for the resistance for anything else. So the BBC did their part in World War II.
Yeah.
They get a bad rap, don't they?
Well, they do whatever the government tell them to, so that's probably still roughly in line with what they do today.
Well, as we discovered during the week.
Yeah.
Talking to Nick Lostrom.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even that. It was the Panorama programme.
Yes, that was, yeah.
That's right. Where they admitted that the...
they control it.
The BBC will say anything it's told to say.
Oh, pretty much. That goes on to this day, I think.
Yeah.
I've got so many papers today.
Well, don't let me hold you up.
Do you want to share some of these? Because I've got so many.
Well, give me something that's simple to read.
I don't know. Here you go.
Something in big letters.
Yeah, try those. Oh, here, have a look at these. Now, this isn't very good for radio, but I'm going to do it anyway. Go on the internet and look for mysterious pictures from Mars, the Curiosity lander. Here's a picture of what nutjobs claim is a cat on Mars.
Whereabouts?
I've outlined it in fluorescent green.
Well, it looks like a big boulder.
Yeah, looks like yeah. Here is the fish cat, the fish cat or catfish. That's supposed to be a fish, and that's supposed to be a cat.
May I have a look at that?
Yes.
Okay.
If you think that there are cats and fish on Mars and you're listening to this, seek help.
Well, according to Andrew D. Basiago, when he visited Mars under Project Pegasus, that there was a sort of a cat rock creature.
You're having a laugh.
I'm not.
You're having a laugh.
This is what he described.
You're not.
They were organic and rock.
You mentioned rock things last time, but you didn't mention rock cats.
Yeah, I mean,
rock cat sounds like a cartoon that I want to be in.
Like cat dog, isn't it? Yeah. No, fish cat. Fish cat.
It's a bloody rock.
Are these coming from the rover?
Yeah, from Curiosity.
Oh, nice. Well, it's interesting to look at.
But it is a rock.
Well, it's hard to know.
It's not going anywhere.
I'm not standing beside it.
Yeah, but the rover's filming it. It's not moving. And it looks like a rock. Seriously, if it walks like a duck and it sounds like a duck, it's probably a duck.
It's incredible that they've got a camera going around on Mars, isn't it, when you think about it? It's just amazing.
I suppose so.
It's not amazing?
Yeah, reasonably.
Yeah. But these are all black and white.
Well, that's because my printer is.
But you say they do something that actually all the images are black and white, and you say they overlay colour on them. Is that what you were saying to me the other day?
Not for those types of photos. I think they are actually colour. If I'm
they come back, so that will be the colour of Mars if you were standing on it on that day. That would be pretty neat.
So, speaking of on that day, shall I do on this day?
Why not?
There's not a massive amount. I'll do it quickly. Friday, August 31st, on this day. Happy Independence Day, Kyrgyzstan.
It's always Independence Day with you, isn't it?
Happy Freedom Day, Malaysia. Independence Day, Trinidad and Tobago. Constitution Day, Kazakhstan. And National Language Day in Moldova. Do they speak Moldovan?
I think so.
Guessing so. Thomas Edison patented the kinetoscope, forerunner to the motion picture, 1887. 1939, Adolf Hitler signed an order to attack Poland, the nasty, pesky bugger. Yeah. And German forces moved to the frontier. 1961, a concrete wall replaced barbed wire at East and West Germany at the border. Let me see what else we got. East Germany and West Germany in 1990, same day, signed a reunification treaty. I imagine that was politically motivated. 2006, stolen on August 22nd, 2004, Edvard Munch's famous painting The Scream was recovered in a raid by Norwegian police. Happy births to Elridge Cleaver, American black activist. 1945, Van Morrison, he was born. Happy birthday, Van the Man. 1949, Richard Gere. Happy birthday, Richard Gere.
Happy birthday, Richard.
Put that down.
And your...
friend. Your little furry friend. Say hello to my little furry friend.
Moving on.
Deaths. Rocky Marciano, 1969.
Rocky Marciano. Was that the...
Rocky Marciano!
Raging Bull?
Yeah.
I watched Raging Bull during the week.
Did you really?
Yeah, because you said you hated it so much.
Can't stand anything Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Or the other one. Al Pacino.
Al Pacino.
I can't separate the two.
Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci? Pesci in that one, yeah.
1997, Princess Diana. Kaput.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah.
Very sad.
So, yeah, that was on this day.
She's a nice lady.
For what it's worth.
She had a lot of gay friends.
Really?
Gaydar is instinctive.
Oh, I gave you a selection of them. I wanted that story.
Did you want that?
No, you do it.
I'll ruin it.
Do it.
I'll ruin it.
Do it.
Okay.
Go on.
Gaydar.
.com
is the ability to sense whether or not someone is gay.
Yeah.
While it can be used to reinforce a person's animosity towards homosexuals, it can also save someone time. It's no use flirting with someone of the opposite sex who is only interested in people of the same sex.
No, not
It is
really.
a waste of time, isn't it?
It is, really.
Recent studies show that after seeing photos of faces for less than the blink of an eye, college students have accuracy greater than mere chance in judging others' sexual orientation. Just based on the photograph?
I think that's probably true. Well, it clearly is.
Okay, I'll carry on.
Yeah.
Their gaydar persisted even when they saw the photos upside down.
Right.
And gay versus straight judgments were made more accurate for women's faces than for men's. It's probably the moustache that gave it away on the women.
Women with moustaches.
That's not fair, no.
That's not fair. We're going to get letters.
That's a joke. No,
we're going to get letters.
No, it's a pure joke. Lesbians are some of the best looking women you'll ever come across.
Some of them.
Psychologist Joshua Tabak says it may be similar to how we don't have to think about whether someone is a man or a woman or black or white. Okay. This information confronts us in everyday life. Our ability to spontaneously assess sexual orientation based on observation or instinct conflicts with the assertion that if people just stayed in the closet and kept their sexual orientation to themselves, no one else would know, and discrimination wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Are you getting that?
Yeah. Doesn't sound very good, though, does it?
I don't think it's that easy to tell if somebody's gay. Unless they're carrying a pink purse.
And that makes them automatically gay?
No, I just mean, unless they're obviously overtly gay.
I knew a chap, I can't remember his name, Dave, I think, and he used to come into a shop that I worked in years and years ago, 20 years ago or more, and he basically, there was a computer game out at the time, and don't send letters for this, but it was called Amazon Queen. And this guy got that nickname because he was so effeminate.
Yeah.
And I had to go and fix his computer in his house one day under warranty.
Yeah.
Married, 4 kids.
And gorgeous wife, probably.
Yeah.
There is
clearly not gay, but somehow curiously effeminate. I don't know if you can connect the two together or the exact opposite.
No. There's another thing I noticed with well, actually, funny enough that you should bring gay people up. I didn't.
You did.
It was your post. You know when I'm watching my TV programs, just say "come down with me" and "fall in a bed" and all that.
Yeah.
Well, there's always a token gay or a gay couple.
There is always, yes.
Always, you can't. Yeah. But they're always happier than everybody else.
I wonder if that's where the word came from. I thought that I was thinking about this a couple of weeks ago. Did they actually call gay people gay because they always, not always, but generally seem happier?
My question is too: why are you happier if you're gay?
I don't know.
Is it because you're not married? Which would make anybody immediately happier.
Miserable. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe there's something in that.
Maybe.
Maybe I've been going down the wrong road. I need to rethink my life.
You need to re-strategize.
After you, sir.
What do you think about Tony Scott? Film director.
Tony Scott.
I was going to talk about it last week, but while we were recording.
I've got all his albums. Who are you talking about?
Ridley Scott's brother who committed suicide this week.
No, Ridley Scott, the...
famous director?
Aliens?
Yeah. Tony Scott directed Top Gun, Days of Thunder, Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Oh, really?
He was also, I think, creative director on Prometheus.
All right.
Not creative director, creative producer or something along those lines. Crimson Tide, Unstoppable. He did all sorts of stuff. He's been everywhere. And he apparently got some bad health news, went to a bridge and jumped off.
Oh, well, I can understand that.
Well, I understand that. I mean, if I got something that was going to be an awful death, I'd probably do the same thing.
If you're going to die a long and miserable death, I'd say, no, nuts to it. I'm not going to put up with that.
Neil Armstrong also died this week.
Yeah.
We like Neil Armstrong.
He's died, and he's died with his secrets. We're never going to know what chased him off the moon.
Yeah. Did you watch Iron Sky?
Not yet.
Did you manage to get through it?
How about this? I watched The Dictator.
Oh, the Charlie Chaplin one.
No, the new one with Ali G.
Oh, right. Oh, I haven't seen that.
I can't call him Ali G. You know that's not his name.
No, Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah. It's okay. Oh, he's saying some funny stuff in it.
Yeah?
He's got a bit, he's a bit politically minded. He's making points. Like the dictator is a dictator in some Middle Eastern country who's developing uranium in his nuclear bombs.
Yeah.
He's got a big palace.
Yeah.
At one point, he's talking to the people of the country, and Osama bin Laden pokes his head out of a window by accident because he's not meant to be seeing. But then
I think you mean the Osama bin Laden's. You must remember it's plural.
Bin Ladens.
The Bin Ladens, yes.
Near around the end, it's not great. There's not one of his best, but near around the end of it, he's over there in America, and then he starts sort of becoming accustomed to democracy, and he's seeing that as maybe that's the way to go. He's learning, and he says, democracy is so great.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
The way you torture your foreign citizens and surveil everybody. Yep. And
it's working out fine.
I love that bit, but it's not his best, but there's probably a better message.
That's not much of an accolade, because his films have been, well, they started quite good, but they've gone gradually down.
What do you think? I mean, people kind of love them or hate them, or
I don't know. Ali G was kind of okay.
Yeah,
that Borat. It was a bit cringing rather than funny, I think, Borat.
At times, did you really think so?
Yeah.
I mean, were you sort of almost embarrassed?
I was embarrassed for the Americans he was ripping the doodah out of.
That was very funny.
Yeah, I was embarrassed for them, actually. Yeah. And then he did that other one where he was a transsexual or something, didn't he?
Bruno.
I don't think I've seen that.
I like that. Was funny.
How was your Gaydar?
I knew Bruno was gay.
Right, Bruno definitely was.
My Gaydar was working on that.
Right.
On that one. Dictator's not bad. I'd give it probably 7 out of 10.
Gay?
If you wanted me to give a score, do I have to give scores now?
Maybe,
as well?
I think you do.
Okay.
And was he gay? Was your Gaydar active during Dictator? Was he?
I don't think Dictator was
not gay.
There was
not gay. So
no.
If you want to see a not gay film about a dictator,
and we're not knocking gays or anything like that. I mean,
you might.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Good point. Okay.
Next, I want to tell you a story. I shouldn't laugh, but it is funny. The Humane Society in America, their version of the RSPCA if you're in England, they're currently looking for somebody in Southern California because somebody found a turtle abandoned up a tree because it had been duct taped to a bunch of balloons and sent up in the air.
Oh, God, yeah. Can happen. Somebody's idea of a joke.
Yeah, they'd got a turtle, duct taped it to a load of helium balloons and sent it up into the air somewhere in Southern California. And a woman found it, and I think she says she'd like to keep it if they don't come forward and claim it, which I suspect they won't do because they'll probably get a fine or jail or something.
Luckily enough, it landed in a tree. It landed safely. There's no harm done.
Yes, just as the fire brigade arrived, the balloons popped and it fell down, actually, but apparently it lived. They're quite hardy turtles. They got a shell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What have you got? Have you got something there?
No, I'm just... I'm just scanning. This man says dining room table spontaneously exploded.
There's a video for that. I did actually watch it, yeah.
I'm debating whether I should bother.
Well, I've watched the video, and this guy, he basically was sat there, minding his own business, and his glass table, that they don't mention in the headline, just sort of shattered all over the place. Exploded is the word he used, but really it just shattered. The news crew, in good faith, went to a glass expert and said, "Can this happen?" And he went, "Yeah."
Right. That end of story.
That was it.
That was it.
That's the end of mystery. Thanks. Bye. Thanks for calling.
Heat, cold.
Apparently, even a minor chip, if the temperature's right, it can just go ka-chang and away it goes. So,
I don't like them.
Glass tables.
I hate them. I wouldn't have one in my house.
That's good because they explode.
Well, they're very easy to break. You could sit on it, fall on it, or whatever, cut yourself to ribbons.
Hundreds of racing pigeons have vanished in the Bermuda Triangle of birds. Only 13 out of 232 birds released in Thirsk in North Yorkshire last Saturday by a Scottish racing pigeon club made it back to Gala Shields in Selkirkshire. And apparently this particular place, they're always losing birds there. They said, when they fly down to Thirsk, Wetherby and Concert area, we call it the Bermuda Triangle because something always seems to happen. And apparently some of these racing pigeons can be worth up to £200,000.
Oh my God.
$300,000. And
what do you think happens to them?
Nobody knows.
Is that it?
Some people are saying it could be weird weather phenomena that's pushing them off course and they're getting lost, but apparently it happens all the time.
Yeah.
So, and some of them, I've thrown the paper away now, but apparently what it did say on the paper was that some people are so perturbed by this, they now go to different places to release the birds because they know that if they fly over this area, they lose them.
If I spent £200,000 on a racing pigeon, I'd definitely go somewhere else.
I'd want a gold one for that price. It probably wouldn't fly.
That's for sure.
So, yeah. Did you know that there are some sunken pyramids off the coast of Florida's Atlantic coast?
No.
I just found this the other day.
Because there's a lot of them.
Yeah, underwater. 3 ancient underwater pyramids on the Atlantic coast of Florida. Let me see. There's a guy called Bill Hanson's got a book called The Atlantis Triangle. They're equally spaced, 35 miles apart on the west side of the Gulf Stream. There's also some more of them on the east side of the Gulf Stream, 25 to 30 miles apart. And they're just not far away from the Bahamas.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's
funny business.
A couple of things about that. You don't expect pyramids to be off the coast of Florida.
Generally, no.
America's not famous for its pyramids.
Not really, no.
South America, I know a bit, but not America.
No, that's true. I'm not aware of any anyway.
And it's one of the tips of the Bermuda Triangle.
Well, it's near Bermuda, so that's true.
Florida there is one of the points.
Well, it said on it, just off the coast of Bermuda is where they are.
Yeah, so
that's definitely one of the points.
These pyramids are popping up like...
They find them everywhere.
Lately?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I don't know.
What's that
all about?
Why are they finding so many all of a sudden?
I have no idea. Don't ask me.
In unusual places off the coast of Japan as well. I think there was some...
Yeah, they found those a while ago, I think. Unless they found more. They find them everywhere.
Yeah, they got
however, I must say, some of them are increasingly not looking like pyramids.
That would be a shame.
I've seen some rock formations in Egypt, in the desert, in the Sahara, in the deep end of Egypt, and they look very much like pyramids, but there's fields of them, if you like, hundreds and hundreds of acres or hectares of them, and they're naturally occurring. I think that the sand wore away and left them behind or something like that. I'm not sure, but they're naturally occurring. There's hundreds of
naturally occurring rock formation of some kind.
And people say that there's pyramids and stuff on Mars and this, that, and the other, and they look very similar to the ones I saw in Egypt.
And also recently, I want to correct something I said about Ocean X, the exploration company there.
Oh, well, go on.
They're still going, aren't they, looking for their...
I believe so, yeah.
I said that the thing that they had picked up on sonar there on the Norwegian Sea was... cylindrical. It's not. It's actually like the Millennium Falcon, if I was to explain it at all. That's the shape.
That's what I said.
I know, but I just wanted to point that out because they were good enough to email us.
And
talk about it.
We're supposed to get them on, but we haven't had enough time to get them on.
And then to say that the wrong thing about it. Let's get them on, and then they can talk about it. That's
they can slag you off in person.
Yeah.
Now, here's some happy news. If you are an American corporation. 10 most profitable U.S. corporations that paid 9% in federal income tax.
Okay.
I'll go 10 to 1. General Electric, they made $20 billion, paid $1 billion in tax. IBM made 21, paid $268 million in tax. They did quite well. That's a hell of a tax break for them. ConocoPhillips, $23 billion in, 1.9 out. Wells Fargo, $23.7 in, 3.4 out. Walmart, $2.4 billion in, 4.6 out. JP Morgan Chase, just under $27 billion in, 3.7 out. Microsoft, $28 billion they made, $3 billion in tax they paid. Then we've got Apple, $34.2 billion in, paid $3.9 billion in tax. Chevron Oil, they paid $1.9 billion in tax. They earned 47.6. And the biggest one is ExxonMobil. The country's largest business made $73 billion in 2011, these stats are for, and paid only $1.5 billion to the IRS.
It's almost...
They paid less than the people down at the bloody bottom of the thing.
It's almost as if the more money you have, the less tax you have to pay.
Yeah, exactly.
But that couldn't be so.
Yeah, according to the tax code, the companies are supposed to pay 35% income tax.
That's right.
But they're all up to shenanigans.
And could well afford to pay
it. They're doing offshores and tax fiddles and all sorts of stuff. I'm sure it's all legal, but...
there's a title here that's frightening me.
Go on.
The War on Chalk.
Oh, that's a good one.
Do you want to do that one?
No, I gave you the best half of these, but go on.
The War on Chalk.
Yeah, it's a good one, that one.
Oh, God. Over the past 5 years, at least 49 people in 16 American cities have drawn the ire of the authorities for colouring things with chalk.
Which is good, because, I mean, if you've got a message to send out, can they really do you for chalking, down with the government? Because it's not kind of graffiti because it washes away.
That's a good one. Most were arrested for sketching designs or writing messages in public streets or sidewalks. No, that's wrong. No, there's nothing wrong with doing a chalk.
It washes off.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Shall I carry on?
Yeah, go on.
On Saturday in Madison, Steve Brooks, a long-time Veterans for Peace activist, wrote, "This is far, far from over." in chalk on a sidewalk next to the Capitol building. Yeah, I see that. As a result, he was taken away in handcuffs by Capitol Police and issued a citation for conduct otherwise prohibited under Wisconsin Administration Code 2.14.
Bit general sounding, that law, isn't it? It's a bit vague.
All laws are vague.
Yeah.
That in book, case carries a fine of $205.
Oh, nice.
For writing stuff in chalk.
Okay.
The response by authorities to Book's heinous powdery crime is consistent with a nationwide trend that some are beginning to call the war on chalking.
Mm-hmm.
Such a trend may also be an indication that the US is moving closer towards fascism.
Yeah.
I've heard about a war on dancing.
A war on dancing? What's this like?
Adam Kokesh and the ex, what would you call it? The Iraq War veteran and broadcaster.
No, Adam Kokesh, he's the Occupy Wall Street guy, isn't he?
He's an Iraq War veteran.
Oh, is he? Oh.
And he's just saying that he's a vet and no reason to be there.
Yeah. What reminded me of that, I thought he was the Wall Street guy, but he's not. I got an email in the week. We get the strangest emails. Keep them coming.
I like them.
Did I forward this to you, about photographic modification?
You did.
About David Icke, and there's one about the guy from Occupy Wall Street who's Lubetsky.
Got back about 9:30 and an email, what's all this about?
What's all this?
Like, you figure it out.
They claim, the person who sent me this, that David Icke is modifying his own videos, and that apparently, if you go frame by frame through them, there are certain frames where, like, a mouth or an eye is in, like, an almost negative but red. They're perfect squares, and they're always on mouths and eyes, and sometimes there are strips down the sides of the head, but they're usually eyes and mouth. So it can't be a video anomaly because it would be random all over the picture.
Okay.
It could be a video anomaly, I suppose, if it's just the bit that's moving. I don't know, but it is weird, and. Why he's modifying them, this person didn't say. And then there was a couple of other people. Jordan Maxwell was another one. They sent examples. They had a photo bucket or a Flickr account with all these things on.
Do you know who Jordan Maxwell is?
I know him, yeah. It was just weird. I don't know what the hell it means, but yeah.
He's 70-something years of age, and he's been studying occult symbology in corporate logos.
Somebody told me he was a 33rd degree Mason.
I think he is too.
Is he?
To be honest, yeah.
Oh, really?
I don't think it's a secret.
Yeah.
He's written numerous books on the occult, Satanism.
Yeah.
And with corporate logos, I don't know, you can pick out parts that look like...
yeah, some of them you have to squint hard to see, though. Some of these examples, I must admit. Some of them
are pretty convincing.
Yeah, some of them are, but not all of them.
Was I to continue on with the war on chalk? Or drop it there?
No, go on. I thought you'd done.
I'm wanting to be done.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to make less and less sense as we go along the page, I warn you.
Right.
On the 8th of September, at approximately 6 p.m., Corey Williams and Audrey Steiner were arrested for criminal mischief, Class C misdemeanor. The charges might be enhanced to a Class of B misdemeanor if the cost to the city of Austin to clean the chalk off the sidewalks is $50 or more, but less than $500, according to the criminal mischief law. 28 the 3rd, I don't know.
If it rains, it won't cost them anything.
Crazy. A person commits an offence if, without the effective consent of the owner, intentionally or knowingly makes markings, including inscriptions, slogans, drawings, or paintings on the tangible property of the owner. But public property isn't the property of the owner. Public property is
property of the state.
Not property of the public?
One would think, but usually it seems not.
Oh, listen to this one. 2 children reportedly burst into tears as police confronted their mom in that chalking incident. I'm just thinking the kids, it was a wild day.
Yeah, they're always drawing on pavements.
Yeah.
In England, I don't know about other parts of the world, but in England there are people in every town centre drawing elaborate murals and things in chalk, and they asked for donations of a little pot there.
Oh, they're beautiful.
And they're fantastic.
Aren't they?
Are they now stopped? Is that the end of that now? Do they,
Have
they
you
not
seen
allowed to
that
do that anymore?
on the side of the street? And it's like something you can fall into.
Yeah, some stairs and things. Yeah, they look brilliant.
Actually, this is gaining momentum, apparently. Arrests for chalking nearly started a riot in Los Angeles last month.
Oh, yeah.
That included bottles being thrown at police and shotguns loaded with beanbags being fired into the crowd.
Yeah.
Shotguns loaded with beanbags.
Yeah, non-lethal ones. They've been around for ages.
Oh, okay, very good.
Yeah.
The war on chalk's most active front of late has been Los Angeles, where police have arrested numerous chalk-wielding Occupy LA members on vandalism charges. A good reason to arrest them, I should imagine.
Yeah.
An excuse.
Whatever they can do.
Not a good reason, a good excuse, I'm saying. Last month, the occupiers fought back during the city's popular art walk by staging their own chalk walk, decorating walls and sidewalks with slogans such as "Arrest corrupt bankers, not chalkers."
Yeah.
And when chalking is a crime, only criminals will play hopscotch. Things took an ugly turn.
Yeah.
When the first chalker was arrested and occupiers began throwing bottles at police, some 140 riot cops moved in to make arrests.
Chalking.
4 officers and several protesters were injured for chalking.
For chalking. For chalk's sake.
There's not a second page. Tell me there isn't, please. There is.
Is that a second page?
2 weeks. Do I need to go? I may as well.
You're in for a penny.
I've started now. I've started, so I'll finish.
Yes.
Yeah. 2 weeks later, art teacher Alexander Schaefer decided to stage a chalk protest of his own on the sidewalk outside of a Chase branch in downtown LA.
Yeah.
Chase Manhattan. He chalked the words crooks next to the rendering of the Chase Manhattan logo.
Lovely.
Watch what happens to him for that video at the left.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
You can't see that on paper.
Which you can't see to the left of me.
No, not on radio, no.
No, it's invisible. The war on chalk is not only targeting political activists. Jan Pepperman of Brooklyn, New York, was issued a warning letter from the city, according to her, to please remove graffiti from your property or face a €300 fine. Now, this is where I have a problem.
Oh, her own house.
You draw what you like on your own property.
Yeah.
The graffiti in question was a chalk drawing done by her 6-year-old daughter on the front stoop of their Park Slope residence.
Good grief, it's probably butterflies or something.
It wasn't saying,
Yeah, stop the New World Order or, hang the bankers or...
No, it was by a kid on her own property.
Yeah.
What is this thing that's happening where they feel the state or the cops can come in more onto your...
As previously mentioned, it's called fascism.
Yeah, I know. I just thought it was a rhetorical question, I know.
Fair enough.
Let's carry on this is good. Then there is the case of Susan Mortensen in Richmond, Virginia. In March, Mortensen was arrested for allowing her 4-year-old daughter to draw on rocks with a sidewalk chalk at a local park in Belle Island. So she was drawing on rocks in a park.
Probably great big ones, I'm assuming.
The vandalism charges are expected to be dismissed. But first, the 29-year-old mother will have to perform 50 hours of community service.
Because her daughter drew on rocks with chalk.
That would wash off in the rain.
Yeah.
She'll have to do 50 hours community service, removing the weeds around 200 boundary posts near the James's River, and then scraping and repainting them. They're getting her to do a lot of work. That's hard work, by the way.
Yeah.
Mortensen told a local TV station that her daughter is now very nervous around cops and very scared of chalk.
Scared of chalk?
She's probably, because she's got in trouble for
She's scared of cops, I'd say maybe.
Yeah.
Good reason.
Good reason. Do you know what? That's no harm. Make all your kids afraid of cops because they should be listeners.
Yeah, exactly. They're the bad guys.
Yeah. Two sides of the same coins. We're always saying that.
Yeah.
Back in Madison on Sunday, chronic Capitol protesters and hardcore chalk insurgents defied authorities and filled the sidewalks with messages such as, "Watch out, we're packing chalk."
Yes.
If money equals speech, what does chalk equal? I'm not doing any more of these.
No more chalk jokes?
I love free speech, don't you? Yes, I do love free speech.
Would be nice, anyway.
So I see. They're doing their messages in chalk and that kind of thing. And it's the usual tyranny. They're pushing against them. Just a simple little expression by the public.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And it turns into a fiasco.
Civil rights riot.
Yeah, because the police are causing it to be.
Oh yeah, completely.
Overreacting.
80% of public schools in America have contracts with Coca-Cola or Pepsi.
Yeah.
Would you believe that?
That I knew. In the vending machines?
Yeah, they've all got vending machines on them. In them.
I think
that's crazy.
I think what happens there is that schools need to make money, and I think Coca-Cola and Pepsi will give the principal or the school money.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
to put their vending machine,
snack machines as well, and all that kind of crap. And I think they've got those in England now, snack machines. Believe it or not.
Well, when I did my first year of school in England, we had a very nice cooked dinner every day.
I believe they did cooked dinners when I was at school. I never had one myself.
You wouldn't go in for it, was it?
Never had one. No.
Why?
Just didn't like the smell.
Didn't want it. Yeah. Well, it was a bit.
It smelled rank through the window.
It was okay.
That was enough.
Of course, you don't get in most countries. You wouldn't get a hot dinner like that.
Probably don't get free school meals in most places these days. Do you really?
No.
Yeah.
And if you do, the quality is very bad, as Jamie Oliver had pointed out. In his
I don't know if it's improved any or not in recent years.
Not at all.
I suspect probably not. 26 people dead in Texas due to the West Nile virus. That number's probably gone up since I printed this off, to be honest. Have you heard about that?
No, I haven't.
The West Nile virus appeared in Texas some time ago, actually. I've not got the details in front of me. I think it was a few years ago. And it's having a bit of a resurgence, I assume, due to the weather conditions and stuff like that there. Obviously, it's similar to the West Nile. And it's carried by mosquitoes. It does all sorts of nasty stuff. It can blind people and kill them and all manner of things. And so far there have been 1,100 cases reported through to the middle of August alone. So it's a bit bad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's no way to protect yourself from it, is there?
Do you know what I was worried about? What happens if they start releasing these genetically modified mosquitoes that don't carry malaria? I think they kill or eat the mosquitoes that do carry malaria, and they're going to be more prevalent. There's talks of them doing limited trials, and only one has to escape, and everything goes belly up. What happens if one of those meets one of these guys, and they create, West Nile malaria, and nothing kills it?
Yeah.
Then what?
Then you're
genetic scientists.
Yeah.
Then what, you freaks of nature?
Crazy stuff.
Genetic scientists are probably the most dangerous people on this planet at the moment, I think.
There was an answer for the Miami zombie case there a few months back.
It was a drug or something, wasn't it?
No, I just read very, very quickly. Chinese bath salts. I'm assuming you put these salts in the bath and you wash in them.
Well, they turn you into a zombie.
And you go mad. And you get out of the bath and you try and chew somebody's face off.
I'd heard it was to do with a new type of
drug.
Crack or
no,
something
you said
like
it was
that.
a new type of crack. Now I'm hearing bath salts. But I'm not getting to any...
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. If somebody was about to go and eat somebody's foot, do you think they were A, high on bath salts, or B, high on crack? Possible or probable? It's up to you.
Who knows?
My money's on crack.
Have you got any more pieces of paper for me?
You've got all the best ones. You've got more. That's it. You've got more there, haven't you?
I haven't got anything else. That's it.
Good grief.
Oh, here you go. Town in Norway.
Yeah. This is actually an old story now. They had a package in Norway that had been sealed for 100 years, and they were going to open it on, I think it was Sunday, and I watched it live actually on Norwegian TV. And which was freakishly weird, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, it was all funny. They were all in traditional dress and singing and doing weird dances and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Freaked me out. Gave me the fear.
Yeah.
Basically, they opened this package. It's no longer a mystery because since I printed this off, they've actually opened it, and it was full of a flag and some documents which they didn't read on air. So what these documents were about, we don't know. They looked at them. Some of them, they actually opened them. Do you know, like when they're announcing the Oscar and they look in the envelope to make sure nobody can see and they peep into it and then close it again? They did that with some letters. They were sort of looking at them and then closing them and putting them away. So we don't actually really know what was in it. The letters could be from anybody to anybody.
Not very sporting.
Not very, no.
It sounded like that thing we were talking about doing, or it has been done when you send a capsule into space.
Yeah.
And we were waiting for our listener, Rick, for his photograph that he's going to send us for our capsule.
Yes, yeah, we were thinking about sending a balloon to space or something.
Well, what did Rick say he was going to send us?
I can't remember. Was it a picture of his bum?
That's right.
Yeah.
So if you have a
first
picture,
arse in space,
if you want to send us some pictures like that, especially if you're female.
You sound like you're actually talking directly to Rick. Yeah, if you want to send us some pictures of your ass, address them to basil@alternativefutureradio.com.
Come on, Rick.
Come, man up.
Yeah, man up. Drop a man up.
Oh, dear.
How are we doing for time?
Oh, we're pretty good. We've got a couple of minutes left. So that's, Norway thing over and done with. Wasn't that mysterious, but whatever was in it, we still don't know.
Thanks ever so much for liking the Out There Are page. And there's a fair bit of correspondence while I was away on the group page.
Yeah, go on to Facebook and type in Alternative Future Radio, and it will come up and offer you a like page, which you can go and like if you like. And there's also a group which you can join if you like. And it's free.
And we stop in there and we have a chat with people about things.
Our guests are always in there.
We've had a bit of confirmation, well, roughly, not really confirmation, but something, an email at least.
Yes.
From the Church of Satan.
The Church of Satan have got back to us finally and said they were terribly apologetic and said that they would be getting back to us soon about getting somebody on, a representative from the Church of Satan. So that should be good. Basil's praying as hard as he can.
They've been baking cookies and helping old ladies across the street. That's
Yeah. They're trying to undo the evil done by the Catholic Church, I imagine. Yeah, maybe they're misunderstood.
That's right, yeah.
I don't know, we'll have to ask them.
So looking forward to that, and thanks ever so much for your comments on YouTube.
Join us, like us, subscribe on YouTube. We're all, we like a subscriber.
A lot of comments on YouTube. I don't get on YouTube too often, but you do.
I do, yeah, I do see them on there.
Anything interesting?
No, not massively.
That's not fair to say it's not massively interesting.
It's just the usual,
Okay.
Nice video, or yay.
Yay comes up quite a bit, doesn't it? Always a yay.
We get a few yays.
James Stasiak is doing a massive yay these days.
He is, yeah. My Gaydar goes way off the off the screen when he comes on. Anyway, I think that's probably enough for today. We've babbled on for far too long.
Yep.
Basil made no preparations at all today, so they stole half my stories.
Tough.
I don't know.
I carried the show last week with my heroes of World War II, Benny Hill and Bernard Manning.
Carried, you say?
Carried it.
Some people say.
And my top 50 horror movies.
Top 140 horror movies, yes. I think that's probably enough from you.
To Alternative
See you all later, everybody.
Radio,
enough from me.
Home of the weird.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Of the paranormal will take you to the furthest reaches of the galaxy and beyond. Strange phenomena, aliens, psychics, cryptozoology, conspiracy, holistic health, and UFOs. Alternative Future Radio, where spooky just got weird.
Went to the cinema.
Wow.
And there are other scenes with Christopher Lee in them. For example, there's a scene where he takes a young boy to have sex with that dancing woman. Britt Eklund.
Eklund, yes.
Yeah. And there's sort of cutaway scenes where there's slugs mating and stuff like the snails, I think they were. And there's a bit more exposition to the story. Yeah. Anywho, they really didn't like it. And what happened, this is where it gets weird. They said to so they made this 85, 89-minute one, and then some years later they said, oh, well, actually, we'd like to release the full version, and it's got a bit of a cult following a few years later, some years later.
Let's release it on DVD, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Went to Shepperton Studios where the film reels were. What film reels? Throw them away.
Okay.
They've thrown the negatives away, which if you're a film storage unit, that is like the cardinal sin. They throw positives away, develop ones, but never the original negatives.
Okay.
Right? The original reels, actually, no, I'm telling this story wrong. The original reels were in the hands of I think it was the writer or whoever the hell it was, producer. Basically, let me see if I can find the exact files here. He actually took the reels and he didn't want anybody to see them, and they were in fact buried in the M3 motorway.
Okay.
They were taken. No, that was it. Yeah, Shepperton Studios threw them away, and they got stuck into landfill, which got filled in as part of filling in for the M3 motorway. Right. Now I've got it right. So in the end, they shopped around all over the place to try and find any footage, and they managed to find an early edit before the big production company got to it and cut it down to 80-odd minutes. And they managed to get some extra footage to bring it up to 99 minutes. But there's still a lot that wasn't seen.
That's so interesting.
And you can imagine the kind of stuff that got cut out. It was a lot more graphic, a lot more sinister.
Was it graphic or sinister, or was it saying something that they didn't want to be said?
When I say graphic, I don't mean blood and gore. I just mean wrong kind of stuff.
I hope people have seen...
With something that I've been brewing all week. No, not that. The Wicker Man.
Yeah.
I had a call about the Wicker Man.
You're joking?
No.
What was that?
I had a call from a fellow, Nigel, in the west of Ireland.
Oh, yeah?
Phoned me to tell me all about the Wicker Man. Stuff that I didn't know.
Well, why?
Do you know interesting facts about the Wicker Man?
Well, not apart from anything I've seen on the film with Edward Woodward.
All sorts of weird stuff about the Wicker Man film.
Oh boy,
this is the stuff you should have known about. This is your era.
That's my stuff, isn't it?
Got a bit of a coup going on here, I think.
I thought the film was weird enough without coming up with anything else about it.
All right, before I even start with the weird trivia, right?
Yeah.
They filmed the film, and the person who wrote the thing, he was based on a book. I can't remember the name. It's only a Ritual, and the director started filming this film under I think it was Lion Films it was called.
Yeah.
And about halfway through, Lion Films got bought out, I think by EMI or somebody like that, one of the big boys anyway. Okay. They came in, they described the film as, I think the exact word they used was rubbish, and basically didn't give them any publicity when they brought the film to the cinemas at all. They gave them a very limited release. In America, it just fell flat on its face because it got no advertising money.
Yeah.
Basically, they didn't like the film. They didn't want it to be made at all. I think it was EMI. I'm pretty sure it was. However, the original film was actually quite long.
Yeah.
The one that you have seen is 89 minutes, I think, or 88 minutes, or 85 maybe, something like that. And the one that I've given you a copy of today to have a look at is 99 minutes long, and it contains footage from before they set off, before Edward Woodward sets off to go to Somers Isle.
Yeah.
He's on the mainland, and the scenes there, which are on that film.
I've never seen that.
No, they're not on the one that...
You're listening to Alternative Future Radio, home of the weird, resting place of the paranormal. Will take you to the furthest reaches of the galaxy and beyond. Strange phenomena, aliens, psychics, cryptozoology, conspiracy, holistic health, and UFOs. Alternative Future Radio, where spooky just got weird.
Oh, no, 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 no. What the hell?
From the alternative to the mainstream. From the ridiculous to the sublime. Ladies and gentlemen, we bring you the audio delight that is the After Hours Show with Basil and Mark.
You're listening to the smooth sounds of After Hours. This is not an intro. This is actually me. Hello. Welcome to the show.
Good evening.
I was feeling a bit funny today.
Who was that at the beginning of the show? Was that
that was my
Cleveland?
Terrible impression of Cleveland Brown.
Not bad.
I have bad foot odor.
It didn't take off, did it?
Not really, no. Fell flat on its face, in fact, I think.
I like Family Guy.
Yeah, although that seems to be losing its edge a little bit.
I thought it was okay.
I watched the new one the other day. It was all right.
That's okay.
Better than most of the other trash that's on, but wasn't as good as they used to be.
It's better than nearly everything that's on, but Cleveland, no, that died.
Yeah, wasn't great. Although I quite like Tim the Bear.
Did they make another one, American Dad or something like that?
American Dad, that's very good, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's much better than Cleveland.
I'll look into that.
I'm trying to remember the voice for Tim. He has sort of a semi-Canadian Russian voice type thing. It's a bit strange.
Canadian accent's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very funny. They talk about a boot. They have the boot thing going on, depending on what part of Canada they're from.
Anything else good on TV?
Not really. Not much, to be honest.
I can't think of anything I've seen.
I'm going to start today.
The Wicker Man, the original one. We're not talking about the one with Nicolas Cage. We're talking about the one with...
the good one.
The good one with Christopher Lee and Edward Woodward. And it's just a little island.
Yeah.
And anybody who's important on it is a Satanist.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It was denied a full British cinema release by Michael Dealey, who was the famous the film studio boss there, who declared the film to be rubbish.
Yeah.
The shortened film ended up being given only a small regional release as an opening to a B movie called Don't Look Now.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah.
A bad film.
Here's some weird trivia about it. Michael Dealey, right? Christopher Lee went to see him, and he had his wife with him. And if you watch an interview with Christopher Lee, he always makes a point of mentioning the fact that this Michael Dealey didn't stand up when Christopher Lee's wife walked into the room. And he still mentions it to this day. He's still angry at him
because it was rude.
Yeah. Christopher Lee is a giant. You know, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, so this is good. I'll read you exactly what it says. The master of the full film was buried in landfill under the M3 motorway. The film was rescued in late 70s for release as a low-key art film in America, but it was restored from a print found by Roger Corman, who had been sent a copy of the film before it had been butchered, so that's all they had. It's sort of 15 minutes worth of extra film.
Was Roger Corman the director of some other famous films like Rambo or Superman or something?
I don't know him, to be fair. Okay. I don't know him.
The name's familiar.
Yeah. Let me see. Now, here's an interesting thing. Christopher Lee did it for free.
Why?
Didn't get paid for that film.
Why?
He thought it was the best script he'd ever seen.
He was right.
And he insisted that the film must be made. And both he worked for nothing. Edward Woodward worked for less than his usual fee.
Yes.
Britt Ekland, less than usual fee. It was made for a shoestring, even at the time. And Christopher Lee, being, of course, at the height of his career, Hammer House of Horror and all that lot, he could have just bankrupted the whole film production company if he'd charged him his full fee, and he did it for nothing.
He thought there was something in it that was important enough.
Yep. Christopher Lee believes there is a more sinister conspiracy surrounding the whereabouts of the film masters. He refuses to divulge who he believes has hidden it.
Okay.
Because he doesn't think that it is under the M3. He thinks they're lying.
I'm going to help you out with that later on.
Yeah? Okay. Now, here is... so there's all sorts of funny things here. I'll tell you something about Britt Ekland. You'll never watch the film again in the same vein if I tell you this. Let me go on. Go on, Basil, get it out.
I think I know what it is.
Go on.
Will I say it?
Go on, do it.
The Britt Ekland's nude parts are not Britt Ekland at all. They're another actress.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
They are. There's two more actresses, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Believe it or not, the bum scene, where she's against the door dancing.
Don't tell me it's a man.
That's not her.
It's not her, no.
There is actually a man listed.
My favourite scene.
Yeah. Now, she was actually having a period that week.
All right.
And there's blood all over the floor in that hotel room that they filmed it in to this day.
Oh, you're joking?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
They couldn't have anything hanging from her or anything, so she had to do it au natural.
Oh, wow.
And you can imagine it was a right mess.
Good grief.
That's ruined that scene for you.
On purpose?
I don't know. No.
It's sometimes it's a witchy ritual type of thing.
Don't know. Another interesting thing is that the film itself was set in the midsummer solstice.
Yeah.
It was actually filmed in October.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so cold. I mean, they had to bring in fake blossoms and put, fake trees on with leaves and all that. They had to put ice cubes in the mouth of the actors so that their breath wouldn't be seen in front of them when they were talking.
God.
That's how cold it was.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else have I got here? There's more here. At one point during the production, Robin Hardy, the director, was found unconsciously drunk in a women's toilet on the Isle